right.
Loud and clear.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to have to do two. I'm going to be on two devices here today.
Recording in progress.
Sound check. Fred, am I good?
Yep. You're good.
Good.
All right. All right. So, is Angie Virostek on yet?
I am.
Angie, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
So I wanted to I just get started with this by recognizing Angie not only for contributing but also for volunteering much of her time to go over and prep for this meeting. And I'm going to share a document here, which is what we had worked off of. Find it here. So the buyer agency appointment, I wanted to start with, some reinforcement or some validation for what we do, because, if you read or listen to the media, you might feel less than valued in this industry. And I just wanted to give you Rob's 10 reasons to work with a realtor when buying your home. As expert negotiators, realtors can help you negotiate a better price. They can save you time since they know the process. They have access to the MLS, which is still a three-letter acronym, not a four-letter word, and off-market listings. Even if the MLS is not offering cooperation or compensation, it's still a resource for our industry. We coordinate showing properties and have access to inside information. And what I mean by that is twofold. Access to inside information could mean, because we're watching everything happening in the market, we know of things that are going on. Plus, as not being a principal, it's easier for us to get information from the other agent that would not be readily made available to a buyer or principal directly. We have a professional network and extensive market knowledge. We have knowledge of construction and the product that we sell and potential problems to look for. I think that's something that's often overlooked. And I think sometimes in the industry, we don't make the investment necessary to have those skills. And I'm not saying that we become a home inspector, but what I am saying is that, we understand issues and we can refer them to the appropriate professionals when necessary. So we see a crack in the foundation. Hey, we're not an engineer, but we refer you to a professional. We have an ethical and fiduciary duty to a home buyer. Okay. If you're a seller's agent, you only have a duty to be honest. You don't have a fiduciary duty to the client. Okay, that's a big difference. We know the local markets that we serve. Okay, it's not just enough to be knowledgeable about the real estate industry. It's critical, and even more critical now than ever, to understand the local market. We understand and help navigate through complex transactions. And we have the experience and resourcefulness to ensure a successful conclusion to the buying process. Is there anything else that I obviously omitted in that top 10? And I'm certainly, I don't feel it's an all-inclusive list, but anybody have any thoughts?
I would think also to be the in-between person or liaison between all, the lawyer, everything it's like you're playing assistant slash manager of the whole transaction.
Quarterback the process. If anybody understand, I think everybody understands that, the quarterback in the game basically he snaps the ball and calls the shots. But thank you for sharing that, Amy. And then as we progress towards that July date, assuming that the settlement is approved by the court and the DOJ doesn't, have any major objections, I think that we're going to move towards 3 types of relationships. We're going to have like a one-time showing for a single home. And that might be where, your call-in comes in, hey, I want to see this house. I don't think we're going to say, hey, I need to meet you for an hour at Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or my office before showing a property. But I do think we're going to have to say, hey, I just want to make sure that you're aware of how we can work together. And, I'm going to send you this document for you to allow me to show this property, and I'll be a representative for this individual home, or it might be for a particular day. The second time might be a limited period. Say, hey, we're going to work together for this weekend, and if I like you, we'll extend it. And then the third way would be more like we would view a listing of a property where it's a defined term, it's for a specific period of time. So those are the 3 ways that I see this happening. And I think next Tuesday, I believe the New Jersey Association of Realtors is going to be having a meeting with their lead counsel and Barry Goodman, and coming up with a new buyer agency agreement. Anybody active in the New Jersey board want to validate what I think I saw?
But I have a question real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay, in my workshop yesterday, some of the agents had questions about the buyer's broker agreement. So if the buyer is, if your buyer's willing to sign a 3-day or 4-day or 10-day commitment with you, do they have a right to look at other properties with another broker and sign the same agreement with another broker?
Well, I think the agreement would be an exclusive agreement, but it's possible, Ron, that it might be only for the properties that you show, but I don't see it going that way. Does anybody have any insight on that?
Well, there's 2 different buyer's agreements. One is like the short term. I think if you're talking about 2 days, 10 days, well, that's a short term one. The other
right.
buyers, they got the
But-
3-page, the 3-page buyer's agreement is an exclusive. In other words, the first one, during the time that you're showing them, it's for specific properties. So if they look at other properties that are not in your agreement, you're not protected that way.
Yeah, but if you sign an agreement with the buyer for say like 10 days, that means they're exclusive to you. So if they find something on Zillow or Realtor.com or wherever, and they call that listing agent and they say, well, can you show us that property? That listing agent can say, yes, but I needed you to sign a buyer's broker agreement. Now, do they have the right to, if that's something you haven't shown them yet, do they have the right to sign that buyer's broker agreement to see that particular property with that broker, with that listing broker?
If
That
that
was a lot of the
property,
questions. That was a
Yeah,
lot
if
of
that-
questions from the
if-
buyers.
yeah, if
So-
the
so Ron-
property's not on your list, there's 2 different agreements. One is for specific properties in a short time frame. It's a 1-page agreement. I don't suggest using that because of that reason. The other is a full commitment to loyalty to you, which they would not be able to work with anyone else,
Yeah,
regardless of what your time frame is on that form.
Yeah, the ones that I found were on the not transaction desk, but Form Simplicity. There was three of them. One was single agent, the other one was no representation, the other one's transition to a transaction broker. That's the one I thought that we would use. Chrissy, one of my agents yesterday in the workshops, sent me some buyer broker agreements, which pretty much said the same thing. And they were all revised around November of 2016. So, you know, the
So-
questions
so-
were about
So Ron,
retainers.
Ron, before we go down with perhaps inaccurate information before it's all worked out with the Florida Association of Realtors and New Jersey Association of Realtors, I'd rather just limit it to my future goggles show us that we're going to have like a one-time showing or a limited list of homes that we show them relationship. There will be a somewhat limited period, time, and then there might be a more defined term, which is similar to a exclusive right to sell for a listing of a property. And if Colleen goes deeper into where we are now, that might be changing, and it's also not going to be the same for our New Jersey and Virginia participants. So I'm going to push that down just a little bit. We'll have some individual state training once these forms come out, Ron. But I think we're all going in a similar direction, and the finer details will be worked through.
You're 100% correct there, Rob.
Thank you, Colleen. For process for showing homes, like this is like our value proposition. We have a process for showing homes, which is far beyond opening doors and being a tour guide. Uh, that's just something to put in our head because we can't let others control our thoughts. Just random thoughts. Where and when are we going to meet buyers for a consultation? Is it going to be at the first house that we show? Is that too late? That'll be determined by the forms. And best practices. Do you show them the one home and then you ask for a limited or a defined term agreement? Is that where the industry is going to be going? And then in terms of things that we do, do you talk about your local market knowledge? Sometimes, even the most minute details about, whether there's a half-day kindergarten or a full-day kindergarten, what's the school lunch policy, what's the access to busing, diversity, crime, transportation, home construction, mechanical systems, home inspection items, financing. I think rent to own is a really powerful tool that we've kind of, I don't know, I've not seen people embrace it as much as I did in the past. Rent versus own, not rent to own, where you take a look at how much are you paying in rent and how does that stack up compared to home ownership, and where's the tax benefit, and I'll use the term forced savings in the owning versus renting. Explaining to a customer what does amortization mean. I hope everybody on this call understands what amortization means, but I would suspect many of our clients don't understand that. Even with the stress of buying a home, if I buy a home on May 2nd, when is my first mortgage payment? It's not due until July 1st in almost every circumstance, unless they do some sort of a credit back. There are legal implications, environmental, pests, hurricane ratings for Florida, compliance with current building code, insurance, tax assessments, tax benefits of home ownership, flood, HOA, special assessments, municipal compliance, permits. Is the term Oprah relevant to Virginia or Florida? Does that mean anything to our Virginia or Florida team members? OPRA, not the celebrity, Oprah. Colleen, does that mean anything to you?
I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, so it's probably a New Jersey thing.
Not in Virginia.
It's in New Jersey. It's the Open Public Records Act, and that's where you can find out if there were open permits on a particular property, or you can find out if there was a fire and they did repairs and how to get. It's kind of like your Carfax report by going to the municipality in New Jersey and filling out an Oprah request. So these are
Hey,
all
Rob.
things that, yeah.
This is Eric. I thought you said Oprah, and I thought you were going to say, you get a car, you get a car.
Yes, it's not that Oprah.
I thought
Eric.
you're passing out cars to everybody on your team today.
That was
Rob is-
yesterday. You
Rob is
missed it.
Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Good morning. Yeah, that information is all available. It is public, and good realtors know where to find it.
So can you
Eric and I go to Palm Beach
expand?
County.
Can you expand on that
Yeah.
for a second, Bill?
Absolutely. The Palm Beach County Building Department and municipal building departments have records of all the building permits that have been opened up on a property, and have they been closed.
And you have the right to request whether or not there's any open permits on any property in the county, I would assume, right? That's public
You don't
record.
even have to ask. You can go search yourself because it's right there for us to access.
You can search it online.
I just a little input there, guys. That's county. City like Palm Beach Gardens will charge you to do a search for open
Okay.
permits.
Really?
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share with the group, what I'd say is a best practice, at least for New Jersey. In New Jersey, due to the peculiarities of the law, if we do an Oprah request as a agent for a buyer, and the town says, hey, there's no open permits on this, and then they close, and then they find out later that there was an open permit on it that the official at the township missed. Okay, in New Jersey, we can be sued for misrepresentation, even though we got a letter from the town. The courts have deemed that we're not subject to treble damages, but an innocent passing along of a false fact puts us at liability. So sometimes we try to help our clients and do all the work for them, when the best practice is to say, hey, you know what? It's best if you go down to the municipality and you investigate this yourself. Fred, can you mute everybody? I'll unmute myself. Fred?
He can't hear you.
Fred, can you mute everybody? Fred? Fred,
And I did responsible and said it's not relevant. So maybe she was sent the message, it's accepted, but
all right.
somehow just knowing about it, it would not deliver to me. And this is the number one.
This is what happens when I'm doing it remote.
You could always call whoever is doing this, call their
Yeah.
cell phone.
It's Karma.
Disrespect. Unbelievable.
No, it's Karma that's talking.
Karma's on the phone with somebody.
So it's Bill. Can I talk about your?
Okay, continue, Bill, you had some more to contribute?
Yes. Yeah. Open premise is a part of the clear title process here. When we sell property, we use title insurance companies instead of attorneys. And one of the things they do is a lien search, and part of that is open permits. So they are going to come up with stuff like that too.
Hey, Rob, this is Karma with Remax of Princeton. Can I just go back again to renting, buying versus renting? Can actually, Frank can send us an example that we can send it to a buyer. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm sorry, I muted myself.
Okay,
So Frank is your lender, and you know, I think we need to tap into our relationships to provide more service to the clients. Okay. In Florida, a big thing is reserves and HOAs. You know, it's a little bit less so here, but especially for people who are coming out of areas where there's not as many HOA covenants. Moving to Florida, you might feel that that's a little bit restrictive. Um, you know, from, you know, getting a buyer or a tenant approved to live in the community. I know we have some agents on our team that have had issues with their own communities that even wound up in litigation with the Surfside laws coming in and additional reserves being required for proper maintenance. Who's going to pay those reserves, those special assessments? All of those things are big pressing issues that I think if somebody tries to represent themselves, you know, they might wind up, you know, in a trap, and they say, hey, I didn't know about all this. I mean, living in an area where you have another layer of control over what you do can at times be problematic, or at least affect the quality of the home, of the lifestyle that you were hoping to live. So that's stuff to keep in mind. You know, this might be repetitive: rapport, trust, integrity, local knowledge, industry knowledge, resourcefulness, reputation, expert negotiators, experience, expertise. And now I'm gonna, Angie, are you somewhere where you can chime in here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so the next thing I put here was paying it forward. Okay, and I think Angie or somebody on our prep meeting had said that there was a movie that I'm going to try to watch called Pay It Forward. But you know, we as an industry, you know, need to you know, serve our clients, pay it forward. Angie's going to epitomize that with what I believe you're going to hear from her. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this a lot of times because I want you all to have this ingrained in your head. The only people that should be concerned with these changes are those who fear their lack of knowledge and skill will be exposed, which is a good thing for us who have skills and knowledge. Okay, the only people who should be concerned about the upcoming changes are those who fear their lack of skills and knowledge will be exposed, which is a good thing for us who have skills and knowledge. All right, that's the gift of 2024. Okay, is that we're going to be able to differentiate ourselves like never before. So with that said, I'm going to you know, introduce Antje Virostek. You have a question?
I do have a question. Is there any sort of maximum amount on a seller concession? Because correct me if I'm wrong, the way that I kind of see this playing out is in the past, buyer agency agreements were signed to protect that agent, you know, and solidify that relationship, but commissions were still being paid out on the MLS from a seller. In this circumstance, you're protecting yourself, but then also in part negotiating a commission. But the chances of, I'm not judging buyers, but the chances of the majority of buyers out there having an additional 2.5% on top of their down payment of liquid cash on hand is probably going to be on the slimmer side. So I still perceive these negotiations happening in a way where it's like, hey, we're going to overpay a little bit for the home, wrap it into the mortgage, which is much more palatable for a buyer, but we're going to ask for, you know, a concession in the form of, you know, buyers to compensate the buyer's agent. Is that even like I mean, I'm sure it's a little bit of a gray area and there are ways you have to tiptoe around that language, both written and communicated, but I see those kinds of like aggressive negotiations happening. And is there going to be any sort of like amount on a concession that can be negotiated?
So,
I can
I'm
actually
gonna,
chime in, Niren, I can actually chime in on that. When lending is involved, there are restrictions on maximum seller concessions, whether
Okay.
it's conventional or FHA. I can actually post a cheat sheet in the chat if you want to see it. You can also
That'd be great.
it does vary depending on if it's conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, and it also does vary depending on if it's a primary home, second home, investment property, and the down payment. So I don't know if I can post something in the chat. Let me see if I could do that.
Yeah, but
That'd be
I-
great.
Bill was saying that, you know, if you have a buyer that's got limited cash and you're asking for a concession from the seller, it might be too much overload for the buyer and they might not qualify because you're asking for the 2.5 or 3%. That's really actually going to the realtor, not to the buyer. So it's gonna add.
So this is great content for what Angie and I are going to talk about, and I don't want to. We're 27 minutes into this. I don't want to take away from
Sure.
what we're going to deliver, but I want to say a couple of things. First is, do you think most attorneys understand the lending rules for interested party contributions?
No.
I would venture to say no, right?
No, no way.
I would say everyone that's on this call is gonna have a resource to find it by just clicking on a button or making a phone call to your lender to find out what that requirement is. So that's why we're gonna be more valuable than ever because sellers can still pay commission, buyer, agent commissions. Okay, they just can't promote it on the website or the MLS. Our negotiation skills and structuring deals are going to be more important than ever because some people talked about buyers having potentially having challenges coming up with the extra money for the commission. That's why we're going to be more critical. And you're going to see in the discussion later on, if there are sellers that aren't offering compensation or aren't paying a commission, and maybe not even offering a concession, I can walk through a way that that's a benefit for a buyer. Okay, in the same way that when we're going to be taking a listing, we're going to have the flip side to that conversation. But I see your smiling face there, Ron. I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions. So if a seller is not offering compensation, Ron Piccolo, do you think that they'll get more or less showings by not offering a commission? Ron Piccolo?
Yeah, I got you. I'm just had to unmute myself. They'll get less showings if they don't offer any compensation.
Right. And then if buyers have to pay their agent out of their pocket, right? Will there be more or less buyers that qualify to buy that property?
Less.
There will be less. So do you see how we could take this negative, right, and spin it into a positive? Now here's where I'm going to drive it home, and I'm going to say, so Ron, please, if we work together, don't eliminate the ones where the seller is not offering compensation or a concession, because oftentimes these will be the opportunities to negotiate a better deal because there's less competition. And in that process, there's a possibility that you might have to pay the commission to me. But if you're able to get, 8% less and you had to pay me 3%, is that still a win? Right? And a lot of times with our negotiating skills and our ability to structure a transaction, we can come to the listing agent or whatever other intermediary, if there's an attorney involved or a title company, maybe we can structure the transaction during the price negotiation, right? Because in reality, does a seller care if they're paying a commission, or do they just care what goes in their pocket?
What goes in their
What do you
pocket?
think, Brian?
Yeah.
What goes in their pocket is what matters, right? So if we can say, you know, at the end of the day, this isn't gonna cost you any more, we'd like to increase the price by 10,000, have you pay 10,000 towards the purchaser's closing costs. You know, is that objectionable? And, you know, you might even have to say, look, if the property underappraises by 10,000, we'll erase that paragraph. So there's where you can turn a negative into a positive. Does anybody feel that opportunity that I'm talking about here?
I think the problem with that would be that the seller might feel that the property is going to be less desirable if you're raising the price to cover other expenses.
So you're saying the seller might feel the property is less, I'm not sure I follow that, Jeff.
Buyers are out there looking for the best deal possible. So if they see a property that's more priced higher than another one because you've raised the price to cover other expenses, it might you know, come off their list or lower it on their list of potential properties.
He's meaning the buyers see that the property's higher, they'll just probably pass on it and go to the next house for the
Yeah, if you
concession.
see a couple of houses and one is $15,000 more because they've raised the price to cover expenses, the buyer might not understand why that price is higher.
In today's world,
Well,
the seller
well,
pays both sides, right? So they're not going to want to sell below appraised value just so the buyer can pay the agent commission. You know, and the
Okay.
buyer's not going to want to pay above appraised value just so the seller can cover the commission.
So I'm
Exactly.
gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to this, Jeff, Dan, Ron. We understand complex transactions and quarterback the process, right? So that's why we're valuable, because of this conversation here is the seller who's building in the commission, which is the way it's always been done. Is that gonna eliminate activity on a particular property? I doubt it, but it's certainly something that we have to be able to address. Okay, we have to be comfortable having that conversation. So we might cover a lot of this here in the conversation that we're about to have here. Angie, I'm gonna bring you back onto the process, because I think during your career you've probably been the most consistent at having a buyer centric process for your clients. And do you want to just give us a high level overview of what makes you different during your career and kind of cover some of the things we spoke about on Wednesday?
Certainly. Good morning, everybody. I'm really excited to share a couple of things that I've used in the past that has helped me not only keep my clients, but also get referrals from other people that purchased.
Are you somewhere where you could go on camera or no?
I'm sorry?
Are you able to go on camera, or are you not someplace where you can?
Well, I have a cleaning lady that walks back and forth, so if you want, no problem.
Yeah, we understand.
There we go. Okay. So anyway, what I started to say is I'm sharing something that I learned a long time ago, actually early 90s. And it's a thing called 5, 6, and 7 as a conversation method. So I'm going to walk you through it. I'm actually going to have you do it. And this is hopefully all going to take about 10, no more than 15 minutes. Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. So have you ever tried working with someone that you didn't trust and they didn't trust you? I feel that that's like taking a boulder and pushing it up the hill. It can be done, but it takes all the joy and the energy out of you. So what is trust anyway? And I feel trust is probably one of the biggest and most important thing in dealing with clients, whether it's real estate or anything else. if you have a trust with them and they have a trust with you, things go a lot smoother. You know, they look to you as the person that can help them. So it's both emotional in that you yourself are showing your vulnerability and they are showing their vulnerability to you. But you know that you're not going to take advantage of each other. So that's the emotional part. The logical part would be that, you know, you and they are analyzing the entire how you respond and the gains and the losses. And then that person concludes that, you know, you're going to behave in a predictable manner. So in essence, they feel good about you. And to have that kind of a relationship going into what's going to be their biggest purchase or their biggest sell of their home, I think that's extremely important. So how do we build that? How do we do that? So there's a tool that I'd like to share that you can do with buyers and sellers. So I'm going to ask you to take out a piece of paper right now. Everybody take out a piece of paper. Okay. Okay, everybody got them? So on the top of the page, I would like you to write what is most important about, and there's going to be a blank that you're going to fill in to you. Okay, so what is most important about to you? And then I want you to number the page, starting with number 7 and then going down the list to 1. So it'd be 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay, I think you should go. I'll have that down. And now I want you to fill in the blank. And in that blank, I want you to put what is important about being a realtor to you. So you're doing this exercise and you're going to continue doing these exercises later on, but let me explain the process. So starting with number 1, which is at the bottom, you're going to answer the question, what is important to you about being a realtor? And so you're going to write something in that space, and whatever that is. So for me, it was being in control of my own business. That's what it was for me. Everybody's going to have something different. Then on line 2, you're going to answer the question, what is important about what you wrote in number 1? So what I wrote in number 1, being in control of my own business. So what would my answer be? For me, it would be, no one is going to control my income. So that's what it would be for me. So I'm just giving you a minute, not even 30 seconds. And then
So Angie,
yes.
so Angie, is it basically you're gonna ask what's important about no one controlling your income, correct? And then that'll be number 3.
The number 3 is no one's controlling my income. So now I'm going to answer number 3 with that question. What's important about no one controlling my income to me?
Right. So what I'm going to do is just I'm going to ask you those questions since so Angie, what's important to you about nobody controlling your income?
Okay. Well, when I was in the corporate world, there was a glass ceiling. And there no longer will be a glass ceiling for me.
And Angie, what's important about eliminating the glass ceiling to you?
Well, for me, it would be able to give my family the things I never got when I was young. I never had
And
them.
and what's
Which actually-
important about, and Angie, what's important about being able to deliver and give those things to your family that you never had?
So now we're going to be at a stage where answering these questions from 1 to 4. Number 5, we're actually starting to feel emotionally. So it's more like we're thinking from our heart, right? So for me, it gives me a feeling of purpose and independence.
And what's important about the sense of purpose and independence that you're striving for?
Well, it makes me feel unstoppable.
Makes you feel unstoppable. And then like you might even get to the next one, might even say, hey, I feel like I completed my journey as a good human being and a great parent or something like that. Is that fair to say, Angie? Like that's some of the things that you might expect to hear?
Well, I say to myself, for me, it was I am fulfilling what I always believed in, and that is that we are here to help others.
And that's all emotion, right? That
Yep,
once you
it's
get
all
to level
emotional.
5 through 7.
Yep.
And folks, this is the process that we're going to utilize in a very effective way to help people, not to take advantage, not to find ways to figure out what people want. This is a way that I think first and foremost, Angie, is to help people identify why they want what they say they want, right?
Right. It's not the 3, 4 bedrooms, the colonial, the 2-car garage. It's really a reason why somebody wants home ownership, why they want to sell their home, what's happening in their life. And you're connecting at a level where you are their friend and you are going to guide them and they're going to trust you because other people are doing this and they don't feel the
Okay.
connect. They just go through the motions.
So, I don't know if everybody's picking up on the control and the communication skills that Angie has because she believes, throughout every blood vessel in her body, what she's telling us. And Angie, can you just do those questionings like you did to me on Wednesday when we planned for this, like for the buyer? Because I think
Oh,
my example would probably be really good. Yeah.
Okay, so when you're buying a home, I sit them down before we take them out, and I really want to connect with them. I go through this 5, 6, 7 process, and I start somewhere in the middle of speaking with them. I say to them, I said, well, can you tell me what is important about home ownership to you?
So just address it to me so it's like a real role play, and I'll do it exactly like we did Wednesday.
Yeah.
So what's
Rob,
important
what
to
is,
me
yeah, what is most
is
important about home
I want
ownership?
to have an extra bedroom for my twins, and so I need 4 bedrooms, and I want to have 3 full baths and a half bath. That's what's important to me, Angie.
Yeah, I can understand that, but what is really important is the 4 bedrooms, the 2 bedrooms and a half. What makes that the most important to you?
Well, I mean, part of it is that, I'm tired of moving from rental to rental. So I want to have stability and a lifestyle that is appropriate for my family and my children to grow up comfortably.
Okay, I can certainly understand that, this feeling of comfort for your family, and what makes that important to you?
Well, I want to be a good role model in addition to, having a good lifestyle. So my family understands the responsibility of owning a home, and also I might have something that I can that they can inherit, when I'm gone. So that it goes beyond me.
Well, that's very important, isn't it? Yeah, I can understand that. I can feel that you feel that loyalty to your family. And
Yeah.
what is important about that?
Well, hopefully that by being a good role model and providing a healthy environment for them to grow up, they'll have an opportunity to be as successful as they can once they leave the nest.
Yes. So I'm just going to stop here. It's about yourself. You're explaining yourself. Then it goes into a deeper thing where it's the family. So there the emotions are starting to come out. And then when you get to the highest level, so Rob, tell me, when you see your children being, following you, what does that mean to you? How's that important to you?
That means that I succeeded as a parent, and that's like the highest. Um, that's what I'm looking to do. Is I'm looking to give my family the opportunity to be successful and live abundant lives themselves and live a better life than we did.
So your family is absolutely the most important thing to you, and that
Yep.
they grow up to be responsible and wonderful adults, and that you have something to be proud of. So that's where it is. It's about the family for Rob in this case. It's what he wants for his family. It's not the 4 bedrooms. It's not, yeah, they're important, but now I have a connect with Rob that I know what he wants, and everything I'm going to do for him in the future is based on what he wants, what he really wants. He wants his children to grow up in a community where, he's got a good schools and this and that. But I know the ultimate goal for him is the peace and the role playing that he's going to do that he can't do in the apartment. Not that you don't role play there, but so I would like for everyone to do this over the next couple of weeks for yourself, because you have to get to a place where you're comfortable doing this to your clients. And once they see this and they feel this, that you're really concerned about them, because it's not about just trying to sell them a house, they are going to respect you and they're going to trust you. I use the word trust a lot because I really feel that that's what this business is and should be, that they can trust you to get what they want in the end. And so do this for a couple of weeks. Buyers and sellers today, they need us more than ever, especially with the roadblocks that we have, the resistance in making decisions. You're going to take that barrier down because they know they have somebody that they can trust to take them down the road. So when
And
they
is it fair to
trust
say,
you,
is it fair to say without trust, like you don't get to the next step, truly?
I
Right.
think that is absolutely the first thing, is for them to trust you. With trust comes and comes, friendship and all that other stuff. But if there's no trust, then you're like tiptoeing on eggshells. And who wants to do that in a relationship?
And
Some of us might
I'm
be
gonna
doing that in our marriages and such, but it's not a comfortable feeling.
I'm gonna, with this exercise that you had, hopefully I'm not detracting from it, but we had role played this and it was, hey, why do you want to be in real estate? I love helping people. I like to have the freedom to show properties, work when I want. I want to have the ability to control my income. I want to be able to earn what I'm worth, right? And then we came down to the point where, money is just, a piece of paper. So then you even went deeper with the career piece, right? Like, what does the money mean to you, right? And I
Right.
thought that was really very masterful and probably, most of us on this call might not fully embrace it from just one blush of what we're talking about here. And, I think as this progresses, I'm going to invite and encourage Angie to participate in another session down the road where we could really become masters at, what Angie's perfected in her career.
Does
So,
anybody want to share their 5, 6, and 7? Anybody? Don't be shy. Come on, somebody. Raise your hand.
Unmute yourself, as we call it on Zoom.
Hello.
Yeah?
Hi, Tom Scott Walker.
Oh, Scott, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So I thought it was very profound, this trial. I didn't do a 7 though. I did a 1 through 6.
Okay.
But 7 was really number 1. So well, so you said about being a realtor. So the last 3 that I did, or I'll just read off because it's pretty short. Number 1 for me was provide professional services to protect my clients. Number 2 was have control of income and not time for money. Number 3 was that my efforts would not be in vain. Number 4 was unlimited opportunities. Number 5 was that my skills are mine and not judged. In other words, I'm not standing behind a degree or whether it be a PhD or a doctorate, in that I'm being judged. I'm being judged by my skill set. Number 6 is I serve a real process in society. I'm protecting the public and protecting those people that I sort of adopt into a family to protect their interests during the term of my relationship. So those were mine.
Very good. Very good. And if you could do 7, what would it be?
To be able to create a better pathway based upon my actions for my family, friends, and the people that are in my life.
And there you go. There you go. There you have it. Right there. That's what it is.
Thank you, Angie.
We're having an earthquake.
That is something. That's an earthquake for real. We're feeling it here too. Where are you?
I'm in Rockaway, New Jersey.
Yeah, I'm in Riverdale, New Jersey, and I just felt that it's still shaking.
I'm here in Ringwood too.
I'm in Woodbridge and I feel it.
Yep.
Wow.
Angie, you are so powerful. You move the earth.
That's my hair. Oh my God.
All right. So Angie, I'm gonna for those of us who have to end at 10:30, I'm gonna just show something that Fred and I worked on. And this is more of a collateral piece that I want to get your input in, and I'd like to.
Oh my God. Oh, they're feeling the afterwards.
Oops.
Oh boy.
I'm assuming that somebody felt something there.
It was strong. It was pretty strong. The whole
How
house.
close, how close together are you folks?
Bridgewater is about 20 miles from here.
I'm in Long Branch and I felt it.
Ringwood, Upper Passaic County.
On the second
I'm
floor.
in the middle of the state. And
I didn't even know you guys had earthquakes up there.
We don't.
Yeah, hey Rob, I'm in Somerset County near Princeton, and our house just rocked for over a minute.
Yes, mine
Wow.
is Rockaway.
I'm in my.
Wow.
I'm in
The whole house
and
just
it was pretty bad up here.
the whole house
We just
just
got-
the house just kept shaking and shaking. It was unbelievable.
Yep.
Has it quit?
Earthquake.
Yeah, it stopped after about a minute.
Did anybody else feel it in Monmouth County? God, that was scary.
Yeah.
I'm in northern
So-
Bergen County and I felt it.
Yeah,
So
Joelle.
Charles and everybody, whenever we have these, we always have we have an earthquake. 2 weeks ago, they dropped the bomb of the settlement. That was the earthquake, and then this week we actually have a real one.
You know, this is crazy.
That's
though,
the
Rob.
first earthquake I've ever felt. It was
Me too.
Fresco.
All right.
Wow.
Don't worry.
I hope everybody's safe.
I lived in LA for 9 years and I never felt an earthquake that strong.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like I missed out. I'm down here in Orlando on spring break. Bummer.
Lucky.
So here's a vision of some collateral material that we might be able to incorporate and customize. And this is just a rough draft. And I like the fact of incorporating some video into it.
What's that?
Actually, as a matter of fact, let me reshare this with video. So I just took one of our agents that has been rocking it, and I looked up some of his stats, and Steven has never even seen this before. I trolled on his website and got this information, but here's the thing, this is basically a virtual booklet or a virtual book, home buyer guide about me. It has a little video here. I won't play the whole thing, but I'll just let
Growing
you
up
hear a
in
little
northern
bit.
New Jersey, I've been able to experience everything that our area has to offer. From the amazing lakes to the rolling mountains and access to New York City, we really do.
Can you guys hear that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rob, you heard it? Okay. Yeah. So like, you have this little book, so it's better than a book that you hand out. The home buying steps, a little bit of a map, you know, how you get to home ownership. Here's defining the process. You know, I would say that I'm a 7 or an 8 at, you know, the content here could use some more improvement. And I want to make this customizable for everybody. You know, quick reference, like here's some of your professionals, rent versus buy, you decide. Obviously in both of our areas, nobody can rent anything for $800 a month. So those numbers probably have to be updated. We talked about the loan process. How much can you afford, obtaining a new loan, notice about wire fraud, which is extremely relevant in the buying process. You hear some of the key professionals. Here's a home comparison chart if you're looking at different properties. You know, what is escrow? You know, can you do a mail away closing, which is very common in Florida? What to avoid during the closing process. Closing day, moving checklist, moving with pets. What happens after closing, key terms to know. So there's a first blush at a buyer presentation that I think is a little bit different than anything that I've ever seen. Has anybody seen a buyer presentation or a buyer material with video embedded into it?
No, that's pretty.
No, that's very nice.
Hey, Rob, did he do that himself or you did that?
I did that myself with the help of Fred.
Well, that's nice.
So I'm like, Fred, this is what I want. And then together at 6 in the morning, we figured out how to build it.
So is
So
that
my
something
goal
you're
is
gonna
that-
share with all of us?
Yes,
So that
my
we can.
goal is, so my goal is to help, is to, you know, refine this. And if there's anybody that wants to volunteer, you'll have your product done first. And then we can share that with everybody else, let everybody like ride on our shoulders. Is there 2 or 3 volunteers that can help us refine the first draft, be a little critical of what's in it and make it better for us, and then we can roll it out to the company?
I'd be glad to help.
So Colleen, volunteer. Anybody else want to
I'm just
volunteer?
an agent, Rob, but I'd be more than willing to help.
All right, who was that?
I'm
Anthony?
I'm in too. I texted
Anthony?
with that.
You know, and that's Mickey Lippman, right? Is that you,
Rob.
Mickey?
It's me.
Yes.
Rob, she couldn't hop on today, but maybe this is a real positive thing for Nicole Fletcher.
Okay, well, you're gonna have her reach out to me directly. That'd be perfect. And you know, part of this is also going to be, you know, I mean, it's not necessary, it's not required, but I think it's very impactful, you know, to incorporate a video, right? Putting a video
Absolutely.
into the
Absolutely.
process makes you more real and more relatable. Okay, and what I did with Steven is, look, I want to work with Steven. Steven's and this is 10 minutes or less. I did a Steven, and I didn't even use AI. Steven is one of the most trusted real estate professionals in northern New Jersey. His attention to detail and the ability to navigate the complexities of a home sale make him the obvious choice for individuals, investors, and developers throughout the North Jersey market. With his main focus being Morris, Sussex, and Essex County neighborhoods, Steven plans on completely redefining the way in which homes are bought and sold. Steven's been part of the Morris agent team for nearly 3 years and has helped over 15 families buy, sell, or rent over the past year with exceptional results. His expert negotiation skills have saved his buyers over $12,000 per home purchase, negotiating almost a 2.5% better price than his competition. And I put a little asterisk there. We'll have to just refer what that refers back to, which is comparing him to the industry. He is also an expert marketer, selling homes for his clients 13% faster than his competition. So not a bad start, in my opinion, with some interesting facts that are true, and I think will help Steven position himself to get more business. Steven, are you on?
Is this company Hazine? Is that the designs this, or he did design?
Fred?
Yeah, it's on Hazing. I'll include a link to the.
Yeah, so Hazine is it's a company that gives you 4 or 5 free presentations, then you have to pay. Gives you 5 free ones, then you have to pay. If you fall in love with it, you want to do 20, then you pay from the 6th one on. I think it's only $4 a month. But this is a free solution that Fred and I found, and for people like you and I, Ron, to try to figure it out ourselves, not worth it. We'll take the template and have Fred or one of his team members help you to execute something like this.
It's very impressive, really cool.
So, Fred, congrats. They like your work. All I am is the visionary, and this is what we're gonna do to help you differentiate yourself from the competition. So we have Colleen, Anthony, Mickey, and Ron. You want to do one for your team too?
Sure.
All right. And then the only caveat is that whatever we do together here, guys and ladies, we'll put on our hub and we'll share with everybody so they can say, I like this page on Ron's, I like that page on Steven's, I like this page on Emily's, and we can build a customized value proposition buyer agency document that we can use hopefully from here on. You can send this to your client, say, hey, did you get a chance to look at the process? And I think people actually will wind up watching the videos the most.
That's pretty cool.
Is Glenn Baker or Steven on?
Yeah, I'm here, Rob.
So what do you think, Steven?
I like it. Are those numbers accurate? I didn't even know all that.
They are.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you want to hire yourself, right?
I know, I would.
And then if
Who did
anybody,
the video for him?
That was done by Cinema Flight.
Cinema Flight, which is a company that I think Glenn kind of helped get off the ground, and we could find, in Florida, we could find some resource to create some videos for us. But I just think the first step is just to put your first video out there, and then over time you'll get better at it. And if you're in New Jersey, Cinema Flight has packages where if you drive to Morristown, they have a studio, or if you want it to do a group where they go on the road, I think we can make both of those happen. But yeah, I really want to differentiate ourselves in a positive way, and let our future clients know what we're all about and how we can service them at the highest level. So I think this collateral document with Angie's expert communication, and I was like blown away. I felt like I was at Tony Robbins of real estate. Why is that important to you? Why is that important to you? Why is that important to you? You get to you get to the end where you find out how you can serve somebody at a higher level. And that's really that's the epitome of what we're doing here. And that's the opportunity with this change. Okay.
Can we get a copy of this?
Yeah, well, I'll put in the BombBomb video or the video email that goes out to you. You probably have it 2 or 3 times reminding you about this session. There's a link to a document, and that document is this document here. Oops, it's this one right here.
So this is
Buyer
on,
agency appointment. Fred, are you still here?
Yes.
Fred, can you put the a link to the Hazine document right on top there so people can click right on it and they can look at it? All right, so everybody can open up the BombBomb email. There's a link to prior sessions, and then there's also a link to the sheet here. Every week there's a link to the sheet. If you open up the sheet before the session, a lot of times it won't be complete, but I just want that link to be live. And Fred, can you put that in there now while we're on? And then Fred, through the magic of collaborative documents, you'll see the link appear right here, and then you can look at it and we can work on creating these for ourselves.
Okay.
And as soon as that link appears,
where's it?
Fred, we'll conclude this.
It's going to be on your
Fred,
link.
are you able to do that? You able to do that now so everybody can see it?
Hey, Rob, I don't get a BombBomb link from your email.
You don't get a BombBomb link. So can you
I don't see it
Fred,
here.
can you fix that? And
Let's
then Eric,
confirm.
can you hang
I
on.
don't have it either.
Put it in the chat.
Good idea.
So Fred, I don't like it when it goes to it says Remax Select Chat. Can you just put the document directly there? And then for those of you who are saying that you don't get it, can you go into your email and search the word Mastermind and see if it shows up? And if not, if you text me, I'll make sure, or you can text Fred or myself, and I'll make sure that you get it. You're added on. Are you all getting the text message?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, I got it from the chat. So I just clicked on it. I got the book. I just got to save it. This is pretty good.
Fred, are you able to post that there now, Fred? So everybody can see where it is.
I already did. You mean this one, right? By your appointment doc or the?
Yeah, and the buyer appointment doc. I want you to see where my cursor is. Can you just post it right there so everybody has access to it and they know where to find it?
Will do.
All right, so search Mastermind, and then if you're not getting it, excuse me, if it's going into your spam, then just report it as not spam, okay? And then it will be coming to you regularly. And if for some reason you're not getting it, then Fred will investigate that and make sure that it works.
Rob?
I got
It's
your
Paul.
mastermind from last week, but not for this week.
And did you
Rob?
search in your email one second, Paul, did you search in the email Mastermind to see if you got it this week, Mickey?
I did. I only have one for 329. As a matter of fact, I had trouble signing in because I wanted to be on my iPad through the email, and I only got the chat on the text.
Okay, and you can sign it anywhere by just going to zoomwithremax.com, FYI.
Rob,
Yeah, Paul
I-
first, then you, Denise. Paul, you had a question, then I'll come to you, Denise.
Rob, so I shared in the chat here on this Zoom earlier, an event with Barry Goodman next Tuesday at 11 a.m., which you can register for if you want to listen to what he has to say.
Yep, you have to be a member of the New Jersey Association of Realtors, and you need to know your logon or your NERDS number, FYI, because I registered for it myself, and I couldn't remember what my password was for my New Jersey Association of Realtors. Did you register already, Paul?
I did.
Right.
Rob,
you
can you
need to know
just
your
send that?
login credentials.
I've paid a lot of money to Barry Goodman to talk to him before. I'd love to listen to him for free.
Exactly. It's like $500 an hour or more. Denise,
Rob,
you
can
had
you just
something?
send out a mass email to everyone with the link to this? Because I think that would be the easiest for those of us who are having trouble.
So, I think most of us would probably not want more email. I'll send this to you directly, Mickey. But I think a lot of people are complaining about too much email.
Okay, thank you,
Anybody
Rob.
else? Anybody else want it? That doesn't have the mastermind link?
Yeah, send it to Eric.
It's not on the mastermind.
It is on the mastermind. I'll show you guys here.
If you could send me the link, Rob.
So Scott, Eric, Walker,
Bill Tyson.
Eric, Mickey.
Hey, Bill, how are you? Eric here.
Eric, I'm great.
Anthony.
Rob, would you add Bill Tyson to your list? I'm not
Yep,
getting
I got
any
it.
of these emails. Thank you.
Yep. So here, I'm going to just show you. If you go into your, you just search the word mastermind, and you get to this document. Oops, this is a reminder.
Rob, I must have 20 email senders using the word mastermind that are not you.
Yeah, my computer just died on me here. So I'll send it out to Eric Pruitt, Scott Walker, Mickey, Bill, and anyone else.
Yeah, me
need me
too.
to send it.
Anthony Lambriazzi too, please.
Okay.
Anthony.
You got a lot of people who want to see it. Okay, great.
Ron Piccolo. Okay, and then we will also put it on the hub. So if you know how to get to the hub,
That would
you
be
can
good.
see it there. If you don't know how to get to the hub, I'll show everybody next Friday how to do the hub. My computer just died on me here. All right, so look, this is a journey. This is the first step to some collateral material. You know, I proudly accept constructive criticism on how to make this better, and I thank all of you for helping everyone else have a better opportunity to demonstrate our value. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you all next Friday. And team leaders, I'll see you on Monday.
Rob.
Bye, everybody.
Stay safe, everyone.
Yes.
Have a great
Yeah,
weekend.
Denise.
Thank you.
I
Thank
just
you,
want to
Rob.
share
Thank
with
you.
everybody in New Jersey, I just received a security message. We had a 4.8 magnitude earthquake. Be prepared for additional shaking. There's no way to predict it. The advice they're giving is to go outside, which is confusing me a little bit. Best advice is to go outside if you can or under a door jamb. So just wanted to share that for anybody that's, a little concerned about what happened.
Thank you very much, Denise.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
that. Bye, everybody.
Bye.